You guys read the title of the video. Before we get started, hit that like button if you enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel. And of course, make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoy this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and once I reach my goal, I am finally gonna do a face reveal. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this video started. At number 10, I have Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I had a pretty difficult time deciding who number 10 was gonna be, but I ended up going with Chris Godwin. Now, I know that he did tear his ACL and MCL late in 2021, but that being said, he did play majority of the year, and he was on pace for a very good season, and in the games in which he did play, Chris Godwin was very good for Tampa Bay. I mean, the guy's a solid all-around receiver, and he could be a number one wide receiver, but, he is playing next to Mike Evans. And Chris Godwin, he's a good route runner. He also has decent speed, and along with that, his hands are also pretty good. And despite the fact that the Buccaneers are so loaded at the skill positions, he put up very good numbers. And yeah, I know he has an elite quarterback in Tom Brady throwing him the ball, but you can say that about a lot of good wide receivers. And Chris Godwin, I mean, he was good in 2019 when he did not have an elite quarterback. Again, I mean, I had a hard time deciding who number 10 was, but I went with Chris Godwin. And in 2021, he had 1,103 receiving yards, 5 receiving touchdowns, and he did all of that in 14 games. At number 9, I have Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans had another good season. He's one of the best red zone threats in the entire NFL, and he's also a really good 50-50 ball receiver. And that's largely due to the fact that he is one of the biggest receivers in the entire league, so he's pretty unguardable. And along with that, Mike Evans is also not that bad of a route runner. And of course, how can we forget about his consistency? I mean, he's had over 1,000 receiving yards every single year of his career, which started all the way back in 2014. And last year, he had 1,035 receiving yards and 14 receiving touchdowns. At number 8, I have Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. Samuel's future with the 49ers might be in doubt, as he did request a trade, but that being said, he is one of the best receivers in the entire NFL, and I mean, it doesn't feel right that he's at number 8, but I mean, wide receiver is such a stacked skill position group, so yeah, anyways, Deebo Samuel, he's a pretty decent route runner. He's also pretty fast, and he's also a strong guy as well. And he also might be the best receiver after the catch, one of the best yak guys in the entire NFL. And of course, the big thing about him, his versatility. I mean, not only is he a phenomenal receiver, but the guy is very good as a rusher. I mean, to the point where the 49ers, I mean, we know how they used him this past year. They used him a lot as a receiver, but they also used him a lot as a running back as well. And I mean, he got a role, I guess, dubbed wide back, or, basically just a wide receiver running back hybrid. Now, that being said, he has stated that he doesn't really want to play that role, which, I mean, I can understand because, all the hits he has to take. But that being said, I mean, he's still a very special player, and he's one of the best receivers in the entire league. And last year, he had 1,405 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, and to go along with that, he had 365 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. At number 7, I have DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals. It is BS that people think that Hopkins is not top 10. He had one season where he got injured, and of course, all that stuff happens. But yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, he's dropping on my list a few spots, but that's only because he got injured, and missed quite a bit of games this past year. And a bunch of other guys, they also had phenomenal seasons. But make no mistake about it, DeAndre Hopkins is still one of the best receivers in the entire league when he's, on the field. He's a very good possession wide receiver. He has the best hands in the entire NFL, and the guy is a great red zone threat. And not to mention, he can produce with anyone. I mean, it doesn't matter who is at quarterback. I mean, when he was on the Texans and dealt with pretty shitty quarterback play, he was still putting up elite numbers. And I know he'll miss the first 6 games of the season due to a suspension, But, assuming he plays the other 11 games that he's not going to be suspended for, I think he's going to be in for a phenomenal season. At number 6, I have JaMarr Chase of the Cincinnati Bengals. I know JaMarr Chase is only a rookie, but the guy was superb last year, and he had the best rookie season of all time from a wide receiver, and in my opinion, he really does deserve to be this high. I mean, he's good at basically everything you want from a wide receiver. He's a good route runner, he's super good after the catch, he's really fast and explosive, and not to mention, he is very good as a red zone threat. I mean, my only issue with him is the fact that, his hands can be kind of inconsistent, but if he can clean that up, JaMarr Chase might be the best wide receiver in the entire NFL next year. And I'll admit it, I was wrong when I said the Bengals should have taken Penei Sewell, I mean, they took JaMarr Chase, and I mean, it's worked out for them. And last year, he had 1,455 receiving yards and 13 receiving touchdowns. At number 5, I have Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek is a freak of nature athlete. He's the fastest wide receiver in the entire NFL, and he's also the league's best deep threat as a result of that. And along with that, I mean, the guy is also quite strong. Besides the fact that he is, the best deep threat in the entire NFL, Tyreek Hill is also really good as a red zone threat, pretty good as a route runner, and his speed also, allows him to be super good after the catch. I mean, anytime he gets the ball in his hands, he is always a threat to take it to the end zone and, create a massive play. Now, there are some people who believe that he will fall off now that he's on the Dolphins and doesn't have Patrick Mahomes anymore, and I mean, it will be interesting to see how he fares without him, but I personally think Tyreek Hill is gonna be just fine. And last year, he had 1,239 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. At number 4, I have Stefon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Diggs had another great season in 2021. I mean, the guy is just a solid all-around receiver. He's a superb route runner, one of the best in the entire NFL. He can work every single level of the field. And along with that, the guy is also a good red zone threat, and his hands are pretty good as well. And last year, he had 1,225 receiving yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. At number 3, I have Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Justin has probably had one of the greatest starts to a career in NFL history. I mean, the guy's already a superstar wide receiver. He can do basically anything you want from a wide receiver. He's a great route runner, has very good hands, he can work every single part of the field, and he can also get you some points on the board. And next year, he could be the best receiver in the entire NFL, given the fact that, he only got better from his rookie season, and, the Rams, the Vikings' new head coach, he is coming from Sean McVay's coaching tree, and maybe he does choose to use Justin Jefferson, the way he used Cooper Cup in LA, and not to mention, the Vikings, they are going to be more of a pass-first team, and a very impressive part about Justin Jefferson's, superstardom is the fact that, his quarterback play, it's definitely not bad. I'd say it's about above average. But that being said, when you compare it to some other wide receivers, it's definitely noticeably worse. And last year, he had 1,616 receiving yards and 10 receiving touchdowns. At number 2, I have Devonta Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders. Adams is the best route runner in the entire NFL, and I mean, you could put him number 1. I wouldn't blame you at all. The guy has a really strong frame, and even though he's not the fastest guy, he can work every single level of the field, even the deep part. And not to mention, he is an elite red zone threat. Now, there are some people who believe that he will fall off now that he's not playing with Aaron Rodgers anymore, but Derek Carr is a top 10 to 12 quarterback, and they should have good chemistry because Carr and Adams, they are best friends, so, I'm pretty sure they are very excited to play, together, because they did play together in college, and now they're playing together on the same NFL team. And last year, Devonta had 1,553 receiving yards and 11 receiving touchdowns. At number 1, I have Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Look, I had to have Cooper Kupp at number 1. He had an all-time great regular season as he got the Triple Crown. He also came close to breaking the record for most receiving yards. in an entire NFL season. And Cooper Kupp is legitimately talented. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal route runner. He's also super good after the catch. He has really good hands, and he's also a really good red zone threat. And a lot of people will call him a slot merchant and a guy who's carried by Sean McVay's system. However, those types of guys just do not have the type of seasons that Cooper Kupp, had last year. And I mean, I just think those criticisms are just bullshit. And I know that having Matthew Stafford, sure as hell helped him have this season. But I mean, Cooper Kupp, while he wasn't, the best receiver in the NFL level good, before Stafford, he was pretty good before Stafford, came along. And last year, he had 1,947 receiving yards and 16 receiving touchdowns. But with that being said, that'll do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, as it really means a lot. Again, like, subscribe, do all of that, and check me out on social media. The links to my Twitter and Instagram, they are in the description below. But without further ado, I'm out, you guys.